Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mindfulness Monday. As I expressed, I have my guest here with me, Trevor Mickelson, and we will definitely be introing him in a moment here. Hey, Trevor, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Hello, hello.
All right. So, Mindfulness Monday, just for those of you that don't know, my name's Amanda Gregg. I have a business called Soaring Healing, and I am passionate about helping people get comfortable in their bodies so they can move past stress, past anxiety, and really be the best version of themselves. And so, as you've seen on all of the posts that I've done today for Mindfulness Monday, that we are going to be talking about who are you? And I am really excited to be doing this with Trevor. So, as I alluded to last Mindfulness Monday, I was going to interview my friend Trevor Mickelson. And I was like, who is he? And so I'm going to tell you who he is and have him just say a few words, and then we're going to jump into our topic. So, Trevor helps healers embrace prosperity, and he's the founder of Tortoise and Hare Financial Affairs. His intention is to provide financial education and align individuals with their financial future wherever they are. And so I think it's really fun that we're going to be talking about this topic today, Trevor, because you and I started talking about money, but we've talked about so much more. So thank you for being here today.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah, really excited about today's conversation.
I know you are. I know you are. It'll be so much fun. So I want to just say a little bit about Trevor before we really jump into this topic. So when I first talked to Trevor, my very first conversation, and the reason that I actually started connecting with Trevor, of course, he was connected with other of my friends, but I connected with him because of his picture on Facebook. So if you go and look at his picture on Facebook, that is what it looks like. And I said, I need to know him. There is something about him that I feel like there's a connection, and I just want to have a conversation with him. And so the first conversation that we had, Trevor, was your question to me of who are you? And that was, to me, something that I do a lot of this work, but in that way, somebody asking me that, I really hadn't thought about it in that way. And so I was very excited by what that made me jump off into. So I'm really excited for us to talk to the audience that watch Mindfulness Monday and those that will be watching the recording later, and be able to just share some of the insights. And also, we are going to give you some tools just to start this discovery process for your own self. So Trevor, I just want to jump really into you kind of talking into that space of you asking me, who are you? And like I told you, I really see that caterpillar from the, what is it from?
Alice in Wonderland, yeah.
Thank you, Alice in Wonderland, that says, who are you? So tell us, Trevor, where that question comes from and just a little bit about you as well.
Well, yes, thank you very much, Netta, for having me here. Super, super honored. And my story has been a 10, 12-year awakening process, I guess you could say, in that when that question was posed to me in deep meditation, it was this same kind of thing you did. Wait, I'm used to answering, what do I do, but not who are you? And that totally shifted everything from our perspective, because we are often confronted with that question, well, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And then in my professional world, I started to expand my networking questions to get into deeper conversations. And I started to ask people, well, who are you? Like, tell me about yourself. Who are you? And so, and then I went back into my own meditations, and then I started asking myself those questions, because I would tell myself that, oh, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I love cooking, and these are all the things of who I am. But I realized that's just an aspect of what I appreciate and where I like to spend my time. And this is something that when individuals are looking for purpose, they're looking for drive, they're looking to get into that business, they're looking to have that passion, quite often they miss the mark because they're disaligned from who they are. And they will find themselves in this perpetual cycle of this swinging pendulums, good, bad, that roller coaster, up, down, up, down. And what that is the universe, God, source, spirit, whatever it might be, slapping you in the face and going, If you don't know who you are, you'll be misaligned in the actions that you do. And if you're misaligned in the actions that you do, you will be put back on course. So if you don't actually know who you are, it's not that it's a waste of time or efforts or whatnot, but you could be serving your mission to the fullest if you are aligned and on that path. And so when individuals are struggling, they're living paycheck to paycheck, and then they have that windfall, and then they find themselves paycheck to paycheck. It's often because they're not aligned exactly with what they're here and their mission and their soul's here to do. And it is because actually they don't know who they are. And that's no fault of our own. It's in our physiology and our biology that our prefrontal cortex is not developed until our early, mid, late teens, even into our 20s, until it's fully developed. So it's a survival mechanism, because when you're a kid, when your mom says, don't touch that, otherwise you're going to die, like you're going to, don't eat that food, like primordial tribal areas, it was life or death. So you had to believe the tribe just like that. Well, that may not serve us completely in this, because, well, the control paradigms that are around us are consistently putting information that are telling us who we are, telling us what we should be drawn to, telling us what those expectations are, and they tell us who we are to strive for what. And it really comes down to listening and understanding our inner child, and that is some scary inner deep work. And so the question of who are you is really based on the identity of ourselves, because there's 4 levels. There's your actions, there's your thoughts, there's your beliefs. And that's usually where the spiritual world, self-help world stops, is, hey, you change your belief system, you're good. But your belief system is built on your identity of who you are. The identity, the I, the ego, that puts a little dent in oneself, right? So it's taking that little dent and it's tweaking your perception of reality to say this is who you are. But when you step back and ask that question to yourself, when I finally realized that, oh my gosh, I'm an extension of this infinite source creation, God energy that is coming to this human existence to experience lessons of anew, it's like, wow, well, that's really cool. That's what I am here for. This is who I am. I'm here for experience. Well, by understanding that, fear just dissolved, because I realized I couldn't die. I was eternal, this infinite being that, yeah, Trevor will one day just poof, but the who I am will never change. That is there. It's expansive. It's not contracted, right? And so when I understand that is who I am, now I can understand what my mission is. What is my mission here that I'm here to do? Oh, I'm here to help and healers and light workers and energy workers embrace prosperity from the 5th dimension and beyond, to really align with that life's mission, to seek and reconnect their heart space, their inner child, and find that joy spot, if you will, that will fulfill them with purpose for the rest of their life. And when you're on that mission, prosperity, abundance, joy, soul clients, soul connections, you reached out to me because I was that's it. That's all I needed to do. I needed to be myself. That's it. I need to be who I was. I'm weird. I'm quirky. I'm kind of geeky. I nerd out on stuff, and that's the elements of who I am. That's what brings me joy. And a lot of this started coming out. We want to look at actionable steps. So I want to leave all of your networks with some things that they can do. And how I found out about this first was I actually did the John DeMartini values determination process. It's something you can just type in, DeMartini values determination. It will take you maybe 15, 20 minutes. And what it will do, it's not values as in, oh, I value trust, I value integrity, right? Those are values, but really, what do you value? What are you spending your time on? Because time is money, right? Money is time. And this is the currency of the 5th dimension and beyond. Actually, it's getting to that is mastering time, but it's the currency of love. That's really what the 5th dimension and beyond is, and shifting into that paradigm away from the currency of fear, which is the 3D paradigm of where we are. That is the energy that is anchored in the portal of money. And we transmute that into love energy by mastering time. And so just there's a lot of deep stuff that we can take apart at a later point. What I'm saying is, when I understood what I actually valued, I valued spending time with my kids. I understand. I valued business generation. I valued mentorship. I valued leadership. I valued spiritual exploration. I valued quality time with my wife. So I was like, wait a second, I value all that. I have all these ideas, when you are high flying in this thought dimensional space that is built on your belief systems, on your identity, you cannot not get out of the way of these really amazing ideas. And it's like, but then you get this flat, shiny object, squirrel type energy, like, oh my gosh, there's an idea, 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 there's a visionary, right? But then you don't get work done. You don't make money. You're busy in your business. You are in a state of busyness in your business. So I switched from a place of busyness to productivity. And by doing how I did that was I found out what I valued. And then I got in the law of compensation, which is serve as many people as you can with unconditional love and expectation of how it's going to come back to you. You plant that seed, you have faith in God, love, source, spirit, and you just let it go. Rain comes down, nutrients come up. We're good from the heavens and from the earth. And what I did was I just started serving all of these people with business generation, spiritual exploration, helping them with leadership, which is their own self-leadership, and allowing themselves to find out what truly brings them joy. Where is their joy spot? Because when you can find that vein, it sings with heavens. And you'll hear it in your left ear, not your right, your left. If you hear it in your right, don't listen, just galactic toroidal field, listen in your left, right? So what we're going to do is finding out your value system. Then what that is, that's a filter. That's a filter. If things come into your life and it doesn't go past through that filter, then it just doesn't get in, because that's not you. That's not what you're here for. Now know that you will change, and it's good just to kind of check up every 6 months or a year just to see where you are, if they have changed or not, to help you get closer. Because the more aligned you are with your value system, the closer you will get to your actual value system. And you'll just kind of do one of these. Is it over? No. Is it true north? Yes. Because if you're 1 degree off 1,000 miles, you're going to be far, far, far away from your destination. So by understanding, if you're looking for that place of ultimate manifestation, it's not out of the actions that you do, the hard work. It's not out of the thoughts. It's not out of your belief system. It gets easier the further you go this way. It is that identity level of understanding who you are. So for action steps, doing the Dr. John Demartini values determination process will give you a place to start. After that, you start realizing what you like, what you love, what you appreciate. And then you start looking at your life and you're like, oh, this ain't who I am. I'm not that person I was back there, but there's still all of these false identities that have breached my subconscious now that fill 95% of my muscle memory and create these addictions of this hormonal cascade that brings ebb and flow of good times and bad times, these paradigms that are literally sucking the energy out of your life and pull you into positions of having addictions and all these deep stuff. And so what I then did is I then started to define what person I wanted to be. And so I started to look at all of these individuals in my life out there that I went, create this secret sauce, if you will. So there's really 7 areas: financial, physical, familial, spiritual, mental, social, and vocational. And then within those 7 areas, just like with the fracture of the universe, every 7 creates a 7 creates a 7, and that's how fractures work. So I then went, okay, there's 7 areas, so I will define 7 individuals who, kind of come together. Let's just take the best part of that person, the best part of this person, the best part of that person. Let's put them together and let's get close. So I started to idolize and test the identity like a suit. How does it feel? And if it felt good, that's what I did. So that is that question of who are you? Most people don't know. And so it really comes down to that experiment and playing around. And that's what you said. When you say, when somebody asks you, who are you? If you say you don't know, you're right. But if you say, I'm curious, I'm open to this, I'd be interested to finding out. I think I'd like to potentially go through that process. Then you'll be in an open state that you can go through these simple processes, John DeMartini values. You understand that, then you create your own identity, try it on, and then wash, rinse, and repeat. And you'll find yourself flying higher. Your days will be full of purpose because you'll have a direction, and you will feel yes. And so that's my suggestions and ideas for what has completely helped me and transform my life around. Who are you?
Yes. Well, that's so great. And just for our viewers, Trevor has so many things that he shares, and that was a lot. But what I really want to say about that is all of it builds on each other. And Trevor has a really awesome group in Facebook. If you want to join, you can go check it out. Embrace Prosperity, right?
Mastermind group. Yeah, the Embrace Prosperity Mastermind group. Yep.
Yes, and he has a lot of different videos that go through these different pieces as well. I looked at some different pieces so they kind of built on each other so that you're not drinking from the fire hose, but as far as really starting off, I love what you're saying, Trevor, just looking at that, because you're right. A lot of times we're going to those networking or we're going and meeting new people, and it's like, what do you do? And so I love that changing that a little bit for people to really think about, who are you, and being able to have that question. I did have the response of, I don't know, Trevor. And I started naming off, I'm a mom, I love to be organized and all these kind of things. And he's like, no, okay. And so we talked about that a little bit. And as he has asked me to think about it and really say you're curious and open. And honestly, that has been the biggest step, that has been something for me that has moved me forward in that. So thank you, Trevor, for allowing us to hear that. And just a little sneak peek too, Trevor and I have been talking just a little bit about some content we might come together and present. So I was just thinking about it as you were chatting, Trevor, that I'd love to continue to do this alongside of you. So with that, a few things that I want to say. So one is, Trevor and I connected as well. So the work that I do and the work that Trevor does, I think there's three main headings that a lot of different things fall under as people say, what are my desires? What are my fears? What are some of the things that go on in my mind a lot that I'm really looking at for myself? And I believe they fall under health, wealth, and love. And so we've definitely touched on pretty much all of those, Trevor. And one of the things that I want to say about Trevor is that wealth piece, that there is this wonderful opportunity that I am definitely going to have the link in the comments below that you can connect with Trevor more on that. And just want to hand that over to you, Trevor, and see what you have to say about that. But I highly recommend it. I'm doing it for myself and just learning more about my finances. I have 20 million buckets of 401ks and different things that I want to consolidate. And Trevor's been helping me in that. So just want to put that to you, Trevor, see what you have to say.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, there is this 3D paradigm of budget, spend less to get ahead, and work hard and all that, which there's some elements that are important in the equation. And then there is the manifest abundance, sit on your couch and believe it until it's true elements. And both sides, people live in paycheck to paychecks, and both sides, people are living opulence and abundance and prosperity. So which is it? It's neither. Really, it's this integrated form where you get to embrace prosperity by integrating the dimensional energies of the third and the fifth dimension together, and by building or creating and building that bridge. That's what I'm here. I'm a bridge person. I help you through all of this stuff. And so what I've done is I used to sell this course for $500, but what I'm doing is I'm giving away financial education for all. Financial education was taken out of the school systems in 1903 by the General Education Board, which was created by the Rockefellers to really keep people in that paradigm of control of manufacturing, working mindset of just go forward. And if you if you were never taught about money, you will never have money. And if you don't have money, you will not have choices. And if you don't have choices, then you don't have power. And if you don't have power, you can be controlled. And then we find ourselves in a situation kind of like this of feeling extremely disempowered, which creates more and more fear, anxiety, depression, and all these responses that we have in our bodies. And so over the last, oh my gosh, what year am I in now? 10, 11 years, I've been doing financial education. And what I found is there's an extreme amount of changes in people's lives. This self-actualization by focusing on their money. Yeah, because I still challenge people. I've yet to have somebody who says, who can point out one area of their life that is not impacted and affected by money. What one trauma in their life was not affected by money? We can always go back to money. And so what I'm doing is I just got a download a few months ago, right after like this stuff was happening. It was like, no, this is financial education for all, not financial education for $500, Trevor. And I went, oh, that's just received. Great. So I started to give it away, and it's been tremendously transforming people's lives by understanding the hows, like how to's, like how do we do that? How do we save money on taxes? How do we position ourselves to really do what the millionaires and billionaires do with their money, which is build big piles of it, but then protect it all at the same time. It's like, how do you do that stuff? And if we, and money is so close to the importance of oxygen, and yet we know nothing about it. We never took any, I mean, even if you took economics or business, they teach you about business finances, not personal finances. So this is what it all is all about. It's education. If you go to Tortoise and Hare membership, my company is Tortoise and Hare Financial Affairs. So you go to Tortoise and Hare membership. Moving forward, I'm giving away all my courses, by the way, moving forward. So it's this fifth dimensional energy that's coming through, law of compensation. It's crazy awesome stuff that's going to be coming out. So anybody who would like to really embrace that prosperity from the logistical perspectives, tactical, that's in there. And there's a lot of seeds of ascension in there as well that will also be coming on later courses. So we'll be getting into a lot. And if you want to also dive into the Embrace Prosperity Mastermind group, that teaches you how to make the money to create passive profits of 6 figures and connect with your soul clients, your soul partners, to be a soulpreneur. That's the next generation. So complete alignment with your mission, do what your heart is guiding you towards. And I got to tell you, God's source spirit is just waiting for you to sit in that seat, that throne, that empire, claim your multiverse. You are the creator of everything, of your total experience. And that is what I'm gifting to you, is that step to achieving that. So I'm so excited to partner with you, Amanda, on this and serve however I possibly can, because it is just when we come together, oh, that is powerful right there. So I'm so glad that you reached out. I'm so honored, and I'm ready to serve however I can and continue to serve.
Awesome. Thank you, Trevor. Well, and I think too, Trevor, with the financial aspect, like I was saying, health, wealth, and love, I too have a program called Take Flight that I am going to be launching next week. And I'm super, super excited because I'm just finishing up with a class that has just been really transformative for people when it comes to relationships, when it comes to their health, and when it comes to wealth, honestly, as well. And what I'm really interested in as I connect with people in this way, that there's this beautiful opportunity, like you're saying, that our connections, we get to serve the whole person, if you will. There's some things that you are so good at. There's some things that I'm good at. There's things that so many people that I've met have done all sorts of different things. And I want to be able to connect that in a beautiful and 5D way. We'll talk about 5D another day. But as that happens, I just think there is a higher vibration that we're bringing. And I even feel it in this call that we're just bringing this higher vibration of this opportunity for people to step out of that fear, step out of that stress, step out of that worry, because you're right. You can create what you want to see in front of you. And it all comes back to what we talked about, coming back to actually looking at who you are. And this opportunity that we have right now is that opportunity to look at that deeper. It's the opportunity to sit down and stop and think about that. So I so appreciate you being on the call with me today and on Mindfulness Monday. It's been a pleasure. So thank you so much. So again, everybody, I will be putting Trevor's link in the conversation below and also in the post, as well as the link for the membership for Take Flight. If you're interested in looking at that further, we'd have a further conversation about that. So would love to connect with you in any way. If you have any questions, so would love to hear from you. I can get a hold of Trevor at any moment. We have another meeting this week, so I can talk to him. And I would love to hear any questions that you may have as well. So thanks for being here, and thank you, Trevor. All right.